Hey everyone, Fabian, Empire Build Academy. Just wanted to jump in and show you how I make my video guides on YouTube. So if it's something that you thought about doing yourself and you want to know what kind of software to use and how simple the process genuinely is, I thought I'd make this video for you. I know there's a lot of people that have some brilliant knowledge and might want to make their own videos. So this is me showing you exactly how I do it and the software and different things you need to be able to do that. So this is the XSplit software, and just to show you exactly how this works, you can see down here at the bottom towards the right where I've got my mouse clicker, I've got all these different tabs that you can see, and basically the way to talk about these are they are scenes that I'm going to transition to as and when I need, and I can set them all up before the process. So when I go into DaVinci Resolve, for argument's sake, it will show me my DaVinci Resolve screen. When I go into process 1 to 6, this is an image that I've added, and I've done that using the left hand side. So you can see here I've got the image and where it's come from. I've also got the whiteboard as well. So if I move the whiteboard up just as an example for this one, and then I started doing this, you can see I can now draw on there as well, which is pretty cool. So all I do is I just set up all the different screens that I'm going to make for the video. Now when I'm making a gaming guide video, it depends on what the video is and how much I need to do. All I need is my thumbnail, which would be this screen. Then I would have the Evony live stream. Now you can see that this is a black screen at the moment, and the reason that this is a black screen, just going to jump off here now, and the reason it was a black screen was because I didn't actually have the game loaded in. But now you can see here on this second line down, Evony the King's Return, that's the PC application that is now added. So now I would be going on to my thumbnail, then I would be doing my recording and my introduction, then I'd turn around and say, and you probably hear me say, now moving on to the game, which I'd just literally click on the Evony live stream or Evony game, whatever I've decided to name it. Then once I'm in there, I can now go to the game and just start playing around in the game, and this would all be recording when I'm on that relevant screen. And then if I wanted to go to process 1 to 6, again I'd come back to this, I'd have that in front of me, be able to read off there, and then I can even add things like websites as well. So empirebuildacademy.com is added on here, and when I go onto this as well, I can literally click that X and I can start scrolling using XSplit Broadcaster to do this. I've got other things as well that you can also see, and this is how I'd set it up. So like I say, it really depends on what the video is, but again, doesn't really take much effort to do this. It really is straightforward. All I need to do is go to this bottom one here, add source, click on that, and then I can add anything from my desktop. If I had a game running, I can auto detect that. I can add all my different audios and things like that via this as well. So if I wanted to add an image, let's do it now, and let's go on to the video guys. Let's just say I'm adding that again. It's now been added to this particular screen. So TBA, the screen I'm on at the moment, has now got this thumbnail added, and again I can make this nice and big and then stretch it out, and then as soon as I go to process 7 to 9, it will go to that screen. Now I go back to TBA, this is this screen, and it transitions nicely in between all these. Of course I need to make sure that I have the record option on. As soon as I click record, it will transition between all the different screens as and when I use them. So from the beginning, explaining my process, I would be on the first tab, which is my thumbnail. After I finish the thumbnail, I would then go across to my game. Once on the game, I would do all my different things on that particular game, and if I was showing you some other screens like the 9 steps to improve your game, this is where I would do that. I would do that in here. If I wanted to go across to the website, I could do that. Again, it's not the website, and the reason being is because I've got that image over the top, but again, all I have to do, just delete it out, and there's the website again. It really is so cool to do. And if you are considering starting your own YouTube channel, let's just say you've got better information than I've been providing, and something you've really been thinking about, maybe play a different game, and you want to jump into the world of YouTube, this is how you do it. You literally need just 2 programs. As I said, I use XSplit. The free version, the open source software version, is OBS. And then I also use DaVinci Resolve, which is what I'm going to go on to next and explain exactly how I use that. But this is the XSplit software. This is very, very simple to use in my opinion. I've purchased the license to use this for lifetime. Like I say, it's around about £130. Not quite sure what that is in dollars. And as I mentioned, you can use OBS free agree, it is similar. I just found it a little bit tedious in the way the layout was set up, but it's something that you might be able to do. The next piece of software I'm going to show you how I use is DaVinci Resolve. So basically, once I've done my intro and I've used my thumbnail, which was at the beginning of this particular video, and then I've gone into XSplit and I've done all the things that I need to do in XSplit that I just showed you, the final process would be then to get that video and then do the editing and taking out the rough cuts where I make a mistake while making the video. Maybe I want to cut out some that I do a lot, genuinely. You won't hear them on my videos because I delete them out. But the way I do that is with a program called DaVinci Resolve. So this is that program here, and quite simply, I only ever need to go into the edit function. That's all I need to do. And in here, you can see I've already got my Lorenzo video that I did this morning, and all I did was go in there, do all my stuff, delete it all out, and I'm going to Control A, delete everything, so it's all gone. And then all I'd need to do then is go into my file where that XSplit video was recorded. I've got a place on my computer where I know exactly where that is. So let's go and add that video now, and I'm going to use this video as an example. Actually, I'm going to use my introduction that I did. Had to do it slightly in a different way this time to record this video just because of a few issues, but I'm not going to explain that on here. But this would be my intro video, and you can see all these little gaps that are going along in between. You can see that I need to cut them out, so all I need to do is press my letter B, which is cut, highlight where I want to cut out. Let's say I want to take that. I'd now press letter A and then I'd delete it, and that's now gone. And the first part of my process would be literally clicking on letter B so that I've got the cut option and going all the way across, deleting all of these different spaces out of the video. So I'd literally be just going across, deleting all these different bits out. And once I've got to the end, Control Z is your best friend when doing these kind of things. So if you make a mistake, Control Z goes back. Of course, I could go a lot more in depth exactly how to do this, but I just wanted to show you the beginning part as simple as it possibly can, just to give you the inspiration if this is something that you want to do. So I'm just going on to all them different little bits, and that is it now being done. And then I'll press the space bar to play. Hey everyone, Fabian, Empire Build Academy. Just wanted to jump in and you can see that was me recording the intro, but there's also another beautiful little feature where I don't need to listen to it at that speed. So all I do is I press space on YouTube. So if you, and then what I'd press once I've pressed space and it's playing is I press L to fast forward it. Something that you about doing yourself, and you want to know what kind of software to use and how simple the process. Now you may have noticed there was a piece where I'd recorded twice. Let's have a look at that again. Self, and you want to know what kind of software that, and you want to know what. So that there is a piece that I don't need. It's a piece that I knew in the process that I was going to re-record. Delete that out. And now when I go back to it, about doing yourself, and you want to know what kind of software to use and how simple the process, and that is now me ready to go on to the next piece. So all I would do would cut out all those bits and then play on fast forward to hear the bits that I also need to cut out. And now let's just say I wanted to add some more to this. All I would need to do is go to my YouTube videos that I've made via XSplit. This time I'm going to put my XSplit presentation in, and you can see that this is now a further video that I've also made. But this was the video that I made of the XSplit video that you've just seen. But again, I've pieced it all together so that you don't see that, if that makes sense. So what I'd be doing is I'd be going into this, I'd be deleting these gaps out. I wouldn't need them in there. Again, I would go into these gaps here. I would delete them out, nice and simple. It really is a simplistic process. When you first start this process, it genuinely can seem overwhelming with all the different things you've got to do. But again, there are just two programs mainly that I use. It's the XSplit Broadcaster to transition in between the different scenes. Once I've done that, I go and get that video recording and add it to DaVinci Resolve, as you can see here. That's what I've got in here. I've got all of my different little videos that I can add. Once I've then added the video, I'll then cut all the spaces out. Once I've cut all the spaces out, I will then play the video and cut out any parts where I needed to re-record it because maybe I said something wrong, or I was saying things like or it just wasn't professional enough for the video. So those are the only things I use. The other piece of software that I use a lot is online, and it's canva.com. Canva.com is for all your things like thumbnails, presentations. I showed you the 9-step process earlier. That was actually something that I made via Canva. There are tens of thousands of templates on Canva. Those are the three things I use: XSplit, DaVinci Resolve, Canva, and between the three of them, I am able to make this video that you are seeing before you today. Hopefully this inspires you to get started. If this is something something you was thinking of doing yourself. And if you have any questions, then please do throw them in the comments. I'm happy to guide and answer whatever I can for you. And I will see you in another video, which won't be a tutorial like this. It will be a gaming guides tutorial very, very soon. If you like this kind of content that I do, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. And I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.